So apparently, this guy has been talking with Elon Musk and going over uh, stuff with them about this whole like boosting thing and about all the drama that's been going on. If you haven't seen my other video, basically Elon being accused of paying people to play on his accounts and then claiming that he played on them, which I get it. For most of you, you're thinking, why the fuck do I care? And you shouldn't, but here we are. But this guy's about to tell us a riveting tale about him and Elon somehow being best friends.
Welcome back to the channel, and today we have quite the unusual video for you guys, and I know a lot of you probably believe that the title is...
And it is an unusual video. Because you know goddamn well, Elon does not know this man from a hole in the fucking ground.
Clickbait, considering the size of my channel, but yes, we will be addressing all of the recent drama regarding...
Also, how many people just, I mean, is it just me, or is it just like everyone, like some people have the beard, some people don't? Is it just because, you know what?
Quinn69's video on Elon Musk piloting his
I'll get it in the comments
account with actual answers from Elon Musk himself. Now, before we get started, I did want to go ahead and mention a couple things. I have no plans on plugging anything whatsoever on this video, and I am going to be uploading this video in its entirety without monetization or any ads whatsoever. And to any fellow content creator out there, both small and large, feel free to take this video in its entirety and upload it to your channel, and you do not have to give me credit whatsoever for it.
That's nice of him, but I don't like, here's what I don't like. I don't like how he's prefacing what he's about to say through the lens that he's created, saying, you know, I don't take money, I don't do this, this isn't this way. Now, I get it. Some people would say, okay, he's lending me credibility. Like, I think this guy's credible because of that. I'm not the same way. I don't know. I don't like he's prefacing it. I will preface stuff I say based on, I know how so far the comments have gone on my videos, and I will preface it with like, oh, well, like, I know you guys are going to bitch about this. I'll go ahead and address it. But it's not the same thing.
I am not making this video to gain a bunch of subscribers.
Fuck it.
Or to have a bunch of people react to it. I am just...
Okay. I know I'm stopping it a lot. You know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Simply trying to bring clarity to a situation that I actually know about. And I do know that the internet will be the internet and people will react to the video. However, if you subscribe to my channel or you follow me after I make this video, do not think that I am a drama channel that gets into a bunch of nonsense. I typically make build...
I, however, am a drama channel, and I get into a hell of a lot of nonsense, my guys. So do the thing, but also you can comment hateful shit. That's fine. I reply to every single one of them.
Build guides and different guides for the video games I play, the main one being Diablo 4 right now, but I am having a blast
Diablo 4
2 as well, and I will probably be making content for that game in the near future. Lastly, in an attempt to be...
Okay, real quick, someone in the comments let me know if you still play Diablo 4, what's it looking like on the server? Is it largely the same? Is Path of Exile, because people keep on saying that Path of Exile is going to kill Diablo 4. I'm kind of wondering, like, in your opinion, if you're playing the game, you're liking the game, you're still in it, have you noticed a difference, or is it largely like bullshit? I kind of want to know, but I want to know from people who are actually playing. I do not play the game anymore.
Completely honest and forthcoming with you guys, I personally do like Elon Musk, and I do consider him a friend. And with that being said...
What are you talking about, my guy?
And I would do this for anybody who I consider a friend. I did get his permission before making this video, and I think that's pretty obvious, as there's no way that I would have been able to go through a list of questions with him had he not known in the first place. I also want to say that this video is not to be supportive of those players who choose to RMT or pilot their accounts. And in fact, I personally choose to play hardcore in Diablo 4 and hardcore solo self-found almost exclusively in PoE 2. However, and this is just my personal opinion, I honestly do not feel like it's that big of a deal, as I really just enjoy playing video games, and it is not my job to dictate how someone else chooses to engage with the video games that they enjoy.
He's got a fair point. You know, we do a lot of just sitting around like judging each other for our choices or how we spend our time, but ultimately you have one life to live and like, you know, kind of fuck off, right? But at the same time, it is fucking annoying that Elon can essentially buy his way to the top if that's what he did. And it's I think everyone has had that sense for a while now that that's where games were headed. But this is fucking Elon Musk. You're not going to outspin this motherfucker. And for the people putting in legitimately effort, like legit effort, they're competing. They're competing, but apparently the people that are on the same leaderboard as him are putting in their life because it does take literally their life to stay up on that leaderboard. Which, you know, I mean, if they're making money off of it, that's their own business. However, this guy is saying that he doesn't judge anyone for doing whatever, and I think that's respectable. But I will say, you know, I don't know. Friends with Elon. This is gonna be a weird video.
But
This
I
is gonna
will
be a
say
weird
that
video.
if you do have strong feelings towards players who engage in those practices, I completely understand, and your opinion is just as valid as mine is. So now that we've got
He's gonna make me kiss him.
all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So as you guys can see here,
Fine, like a hug or something.
we're over here on my private messages inside of X,
I'll
and
move.
the only person you see up here is
Son of
Elon
a
Musk.
bitch.
Now, that is not because that is the only person I talk to. I
Where am
just
I gonna
simply
move?
closed out the other message threads to
I'm gonna
give privacy to
I'm
those
gonna move up
people
here.
who I do talk to, as this video does not have anything to do with them, and I do not have their express permission to have them in it. Now, for those of you who may be skeptical and think that I could be faking this entire thing, I will go ahead and click on his name here. And as you can see, this is the real Elon Musk. He follows me and he
Oh
has
fuck.
213 million followers. Now, this is either true that this is the real Elon Musk, or I am part of the most elaborate practical joke that anyone has ever been a part of. However, I don't think this video is going to be that interesting. So let's go ahead and go back. And again, Elon Musk. So as you can see here, guys, I opened up regarding PoE 2 and to a lesser degree Diablo 4, because those are the two things that were in question. And I'm just going to go down.
Bro. I just thought of something. He says he exclusively plays hardcore. Bro, is this the fucking guy? Is this the guy that Elon paid and they got nah. Nah, right? Surely not.
Down the thread.
There's a lot of bullshit being said here now that I'm
Now, I'm going to try
questioning.
not to edit this video too much. However, I do still suck at talking to a camera in a room all by myself. So anyway, as you guys can see, Elon did go ahead and link his max roll leaderboard from Season 2 in Diablo 4, and this was regarding the Abattoir Observer, and he did manage to get to rank 20 in the world, which was no easy task, believe me, and that is not because Diablo 4 is a difficult game, because it's not. However, when you do start trying to push into high tier pits, or in this case in the Abattoir Observer, and you are racing other content creators who are actually trying to compete for those top spots, it actually does create its own level of difficulty for the game. And in fact, I would say that's really where the only difficulty is in Diablo 4, is the difficulty that is created by other players.
Hey, he's admitting it. I don't want to say it, but He's admitting it.
on unofficial leaderboards who are racing for those number one spots. So it is actually quite difficult to reach that. And in my opinion, and I know there will be plenty of people who may not like this, but Elon Musk is actually a pretty good gamer. And he does play quite a lot more than what you probably think. However, that is not what this video is about. So moving on to my first question, I asked him quite directly, have you level boosted, had someone else play your accounts? And slash or purchased gear slash resources for PoE 2 and Diablo 4. To which then he answered 100, which means, of course, yes. And as you can see here, he also stated, I've also been on multiple streams with both Rob and Ace. Both
That's deflecting.
of those players are notable Diablo 4 players and content creators. And this is also true, he definitely has. And then he goes further and expands on that and he says, but when I post a video of a game or am streaming, that's 100% me.
Deflecting.
Which of course it is 100% him playing that account. And then here he actually provides some insight as to why he chooses to RMT and have people pilot his account sometimes. And that is because it is impossible to beat the players in Asia if you don't, as they do. Now, this is absolutely true for Diablo 4, and I could be wrong, but it is probably the case to some degree in Path of Exile 2 and even Path of Exile 1 that there are plenty of players, and in fact, some of those players might be at the top of those ladders every season, who do in fact RMT as well as have people pilot their accounts when they are doing something else. Now, this could be something that both I and Elon are mistaken on with regards to PoE 2, and there may not be as much rampant RMT and piloting going on in Path of Exile as there is in Diablo 4. Because trust me, there is a ton of it happening in Diablo 4. Almost every single season, there are multiple bugs and multiple issues with duplication of items, and that stuff hits the market, and players either buy it for real money or they use their resources they earn in the game and they trade for it. Either way, there are tons of items that have been duplicated, and there is a ton of people who are RMTing in Diablo 4 every single season. And I also want to say that this is
okay. It is a little weird that he just admits to it after all that. But boy, he admits to it. Like,
in no way excusing the behavior. However, like I said at the beginning of the video, it is not something that I personally find impactful as to how I enjoy a game, so it doesn't really bother me to any significant degree. So to answer the burning question, does Elon Musk RMT? Does he have someone pilot his account? Absolutely he does. And he openly admits to it. And
no. No, he doesn't. He has not openly admit to it. He is now admitting to it, but he has not openly admitted to it. Okay. Listen, this is the problem. When you preface your video saying honesty and I don't take ad money and that makes my opinion more clear, and then like we're friends with Elon and all this other stuff to preface, I knew there was going to be parts of this that were just straight up dishonest. And that's my problem, is I have a problem with the dishonesty part. Okay. I was raised Mennonite. I can't help it. It's in my head. I'm not a good Mennonite, so don't use me as an example, but I mean, I think a lot of Mennonites would say that, so that's really pointless. But the point is, brother, you cannot say that he openly admits it. You can say he has now admitted it.
in fact, I will give you my own personal anecdotal experience with this. So one of the first times I actually spoke with Elon while playing D4 was when he asked me to help him possibly tweak his build a little bit for a previous season to help him push into a higher pit tier. And while we were talking, I remarked about how crazy his gear was at the time, to which he himself immediately told me that he had purchased some of that gear. And I can honestly say, with me at least, that he has been openly honest about RMTing in Diablo 4.
Okay. purchased the gear. Okay, does not mean, boy, purchase the gear. Like, I know we're talking about RMT, but he's using wordplay to go around. He's making it sound like everything is uh what he wants it to sound like, even though it's not. You know what I mean?
as well as PoE 2. Now, again, this is not condoning the practice. I am just simply trying to bring some clarity to the situation. There are a lot of assumptions that Elon had plans or was going to take credit for all of these things and that he was intentionally deceiving people. Well, in my opinion, that's just simply not the case. And from my own personal experience, that's just simply not the case. Now, I'm not going to try to persuade you otherwise. I am just simply giving you my own personal experience as well as his open admission.
But you are intentionally being biased and saying things in a way that you're saying it in that way.
To RMTing as well as piloting his account in PoE 2 and to a lesser degree in Diablo 4. Now, moving on to the second question I asked Elon, I said, regarding PoE 2, was it your intention to take full credit for leveling your hardcore character? To which he then replied, no, never claimed that.
That's not true.
And the top accounts in Diablo or PoE require multiple people playing the account to win a leveling race. Now, I believe I've already shared my opinion as to how I feel about this.
I don't necessarily know if that's true. Okay. I think from what I've been getting a lot of comments, and from what I can piece together from what people said is you can't play poorly, but you could play alone. You could, but I think the people up there that are doing that are also full-time content creators that get up every day and play every day, like regimented people, okay, that have infinite amounts of time to put into the game. But I don't know. Could be true. This is the problem. It could be true or it could not be true. That one.
The second portion of his answer here with my response to the first question. However, just to reiterate, it is my opinion that there are plenty of players who are probably participating in RMT as well as piloting practices on the PoE 2 ladders on any given league. However, that is not to condone those practices. And whether it is his intention to do so or not, he will inevitably displace another player who may not be participating in those practices just by him boosting his account. Now, again, I personally do not have strong feelings towards this because it does not impact how much I enjoy playing a game or the way I choose to engage with a game. However, if you do have those feelings, that is perfectly fine, and I'm not trying to downplay the situation whatsoever. And then to the first part of his response, again, my own anecdotal experience, he's never really lied whatsoever about what he does in the video games he chooses to enjoy, and I don't believe he would ever lie if directly asked about it.
But he has. So he's already done that. Like there's evidence that he's already done that. In the beginning, I thought this guy was one way, but it's starting to piss me off every time he edges out these things with these little nuggets of dishonesty. Like, you can just say the thing. You do not have to. Like, I guess he's worried that maybe Elon sees this and goes off on him next because he didn't entirely present it exactly how Elon wants it presented. But here's the thing. Straight up, that's being dishonest, regardless of what your intention was, regardless of how you preface it, regardless that you're not making money. Like, shut the fuck up, you're being dishonest. Like, I'll put up with like a little bit of it, but I won't put up with all of it. I won't eat an entire shit sandwich just because I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, which is my fault, to be honest, not his.
As evidenced by being directly asked about it, and he openly admits to RMT
Once.
as well as piloting. And
Once.
I do not believe in any of his streams that he ever claimed that he leveled his characters entirely by himself. However, it's not really
We're not using wordplay here, guy.
a topic you would naturally fall into when you're streaming.
Listen,
It's not
if you're gonna use wordplay, at least like understand you're gonna be called out.
like you're going to start up a stream and be like, hey guys, I RMT and I piloted this account to get here. But now that we've gotten out of the way, let's go ahead and get on with the stream.
Which is totally fine, but he did say other shit when asked about it, impressed by other people, and people are making videos and blah 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 blah. Now, you could say that Elon intentionally thought it was like the only way to save this would be to say that, well, Elon Musk knew Elon Musk thought, right, that people understood all the intricacies of this and the face value thing, and the reason he got mad is that people did not, in fact, understand all this. Okay? But in my opinion, he was not honest when he was pressed on it, when people are making videos. Because if you look at it from that perspective, what that looks like from Elon is this. Wow, people are making all these bullshit videos. Like, they knew that I was doing this. I don't know why they're making it a big deal. That's his thinking. That's what the only way this makes sense is if Elon thought everyone understood exactly what was going on and that it was not a big deal and that his lying wasn't lying because, you know, they're able to turn it into whatever they want. But that, you get what I'm saying? That's the only possible road down this way that, you know, I don't know.
Just really wouldn't do that. So it's kind of understandable that topic would never come up in the first place. Now, moving on to the third question I asked Elon, I said regarding the Asmon drama, was it just a misunderstanding of what an editor is in relation to content creation? And the reason why I asked this question is simply because they come from two different generations. And when Elon probably thinks editor, he understands it as someone who may edit a magazine or edit a newspaper, and they have full control as to what goes into that subject matter. But in Asmon's case, an editor is just someone who edits out his content and uploads it to his channel, and they both benefit from that. And because Asmongold is such a massive content creator, he really saves a lot of time in not having to edit out his content, which means he can upload more content and also provide jobs to people who may need them. So it's beneficial for everybody around. And his response to that was Asmon seemed to require permission from others to stream on X, suggesting he doesn't control his own destiny. Whether those are the editors or others, I don't know. And I think this is just simply a misunderstanding, as Elon is not familiar with content creation, because why would he be? He does a million other things. But I have actually explained this to him in previous messages back and forth when this first happened, that Asmon just has an editor, as in someone who just edits his content, and that he maintains full control over the creative side of it,
which he doesn't agree with, obviously.
His channels. And ultimately, I feel like this was a pretty unfortunate interaction. I actually asked Elon back in November of last year if he had ever reached out to Asmongold to see if he wanted to stream on X, because Asmongold is a big free speech advocate. I am a big free speech advocate, and Elon is a big free speech advocate. And I think that Elon Musk has a great platform for streaming, albeit not the best platform for streaming, but it is getting better. And I think having someone like Asmongold streaming on X would be a massive benefit to the platform. So I really hope that...
Well, no shit. He'd be a massive benefit to any platform. I mean, he's sitting at a cool 3 milli, and his videos regularly get a shitload of views. But that's not the point.
Fences get mended. And you'll see here in my next question, which these started to become much more lighthearted questions, I said, would you be willing to allow Asmon to do a live stream of a rocket launch at SpaceX? Now, I just so happened to catch the clip of Asmon stating that he would love to have a live stream where he could live stream a rocket launch. So I asked him about it. And then I said down here, this would potentially be one of the biggest live streams ever. And he asked, is he asking for this? It's not like our live streams get low views as it is, which is true. All of his rocket launch live streams have tons of viewers. And I said, I'm not going to lie, he asked for this, and I honestly think it would make his dream come true. And I'm not trying to be weird about that, but I do think it would honestly be something that's really memorable for someone or anyone to get an
I don't like him meddling in that though. Even if it's a good thing.
opportunity to go live stream a
But that's honestly whatever.
rocket launch at SpaceX with Elon Musk. I mean, that is pretty awesome and definitely something you could check off your bucket list. And I said right here, I said it would be badass. And he said right here, okay, sure, but he has to admit that I am a living god of video games
I know that's a joke, but like given everything that's happened. Fuck me. Read the room.
with obviously a bunch of laughing emojis. So clearly he's joking here. But I just want to
Yeah, I mean, okay.
say,
But yeah.
Asmon, reach out to him. I think this would be an awesome stream where you have the opportunity to go to SpaceX and live stream a rocket launch with Elon Musk there. And I hope you guys mend those fences. And I do feel a little bit responsible for putting them onto your channel, even if it is just a coincidence that I brought it up back in November. And that's about the time that you guys were talking about streaming on X. And I think this would be a really cool live stream to have. So, Asmon, if you do react to this and you do have a chance to go and live stream a rocket launch at SpaceX, just know that I put in the good words, okay? I put in the good word, and I think that would be an awesome stream and something that would be really cool to see you and Elon collaborate on something that big. I think that would be an
I don't mind this guy. I just don't know what his intentions. I mean, I guess his intentions is, making these two kissy face, but like to be honest, I don't know. It's weird.
awesome stream to have. And then going back up here just to go over the information that I scrolled past, and this is regarding the top accounts in Diablo or PoE2 require multiple people playing the account to win a leveling race. Just kind of expands on that. However, very few Diablo players achieve a sub 3-minute T51 clear, and that was in Season 6, despite being at max level, and I'll also add in with maxed out gear. And I haven't seen anyone else post a sub 2-minute clear apart from Resistance, and this is actually true. No matter how you cut it, a sub 2-minute clear of the hardest level in Diablo 4 is very fast. My run is posted to X, and very few mistakes were made. So again, Diablo 4 by itself, not a difficult game. However, when you add the competitiveness between fellow players, that's where the difficulty comes through. It's
This wasn't even about Diablo though.
much in the same way when you're playing something like a first-person shooter, where if you were to play the first-person shooter with bots, super easy. But it's when you add the human element and the competitiveness between fellow players, and that's where the difficulty starts to grow. So I just want to say that it is actually quite difficult to achieve a sub 2-minute run. However, overall, Diablo 4, super easy game. You will not hear me argue otherwise. And then he goes on to talk about his Quake experience here, and it has been confirmed that he was actually quite the good Quake player back in the day.
Yes. And no one is arguing with that, even in the slightest. Most people don't even care. Like, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different experiences, and quite frankly, the things that make you feel like you're special or the things that in your mind is so memorable and stuff that you love, most people, okay, don't give a shit. There are a few who really think that that quality about you is great. It's just dandy. And they'll stand by you and they'll talk to you and they'll be happy. It's just like when you meet someone at a convention that did one role 20 years ago and they're at the convention, you say, "Oh my god, that's that guy." Yes, to you that's special. But as far as the Quake stuff goes, no one's arguing about it, no one cares, no one is saying anything other than what he said.
And in my opinion, he's still a really good video game player. Maybe not as sharp as he used to be, but still pretty good. Definitely above average. And then on to my last question, I asked him, would you be willing to do a hardcore duo live stream playing PoE2 with Quinn? And then we get off on a bit of a tangent here. He continues to talk about his Quake experience. Then we get on to his hardcore character dying, which also my hardcore character died today as well, which was pretty unfortunate, to a mixture of lag as well as bird vomit, which is never a good combination. And then finally back down here, I ask, so would you be willing to do a live stream with Quinn in Hardcore Trade League, new characters, fresh gear? And he says that will boost his stream viewership to crazy levels, to which I say, but it would be fun, and he's a cool guy. And he asked, why should I reward those who trash me?
That is the most egotistical answer. How about you just do it because it's fun? How about you do it because obviously, between running all these businesses, you have the time to get involved in internet drama. Why don't you do it because, like, what? You're just going to sit here talking to this guy in your fucking DMs? People would like to see it. People would, it doesn't matter. Is it cool? You're at that stage, if you have his kind of money, to where you should just be doing stuff that's cool. You've already won, bro. You've already won. Just do stuff that you find cool. Because guess what? Eventually, you're going to be dead. Okay? And all anyone's going to remember is the cool shit.
Which, from Elon's perspective, I can definitely understand why he would feel that way. But from Quinn's perspective, he's very protective over PoE as well as PoE 2. And I'm sure he was much more disappointed to find out that Elon was RMTing as well as piloting, because those activities are looked down upon and frowned upon in the PoE community.
Especially if you claim that you're not doing them. Okay? I don't know why this guy, I guess he just is glazing over the fact that, like, this definitely happened.
And to a lesser degree, Diablo 4. And I can completely understand his perspective on the matter. But then I say, and this goes for Quinn as well, because sometimes it's all a misunderstanding and forgiveness is freedom. What would Jesus do?
And sometimes it's just people have problems with their ego. You know what? Because this is his point of view, okay? Anyone could just drop all their bullshit. Even the most hated people, like, I feel like I grew up Mennonite, and this is very easy for us to do. Maybe we get heated, but the next day, everything is good. Okay? But the reality is, if you have an ego, it's not about you hating the other, it's not about you hating the other person. Okay? I bet this doesn't even have to do with Asmongold. It's the idea. The idea he is challenged with is that his ego isn't pure. You know? It has more to do about building yourself and what you think of yourself and how you want to be perceived. A lot of us, like, especially in the Mennonite community, we don't give a fuck how we're perceived. So people's perception of us sometimes is very weird and bad and sometimes good. But overall, I'm just trying to say, from the perspective of what they're talking about, Elon has a problem with the self. Elon has a problem with the self. Elon values being good at video games as a personal trait, and that got challenged. He can't reconcile with his ego, so therefore he hates those people. Okay? It has nothing to do with the person. I bet these two would be grade A best friends. But it doesn't matter, because you have to reconcile that first. You can't, I mean, you know what I mean?
And obviously, Jesus would forgive. So I really hope, Quinn, if you do watch this video.
And look, I'm not bashing on his faith. I just, in the Mennonite stuff, we have a different view. Okay? Your soul is your soul. My soul is my soul. I don't drink or smoke. But if you do, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's your body. That's your soul. That's your pursuit. We don't care. We legitimately don't care what you do. It is yourself. We just ask that we're not put into it, forced to it, pressured into it. Like, you know what I mean? And what he's doing here is, you know, the what would Jesus do thing, trying to manipulate the outcome by saying, what would Jesus do? It's like, well, first you have to act like Jesus. Okay. You know what I mean?
and you do react to it, that you guys can build a bridge and get over it, because I think it would be a really cool
I get what he's doing, though. I just want you guys to understand in the comments. I get what he's doing. I just think it is a good thing. It is a good thing what he's trying to do. But I do think that, like, not being honest about a situation, I don't know, it's just something about lying, dude. Not being honest about a situation is not going to get you to the outcome that you really believe that you should be at. Okay? It's not going to get you to that outcome unless you just say, hey, look, you lied, but who cares? That's where you want to be. But like not being honest about it and manipulating what people think and taking two people and parent trapping them and like, oh, dude, I don't know.
stream to see you and Elon playing together, blasting through hardcore. And maybe you could even educate him on some PoE2 stuff and show him the ropes, because honestly, I think it would be a good time for both of you, and it would be one heck of a stream to watch.
That stream would be nuts. And I do not see it going good. I do not see that stream going good. Now, I think that out of awkwardness, if they're all there, they're all, well, maybe Quinn's not, but definitely Asmongold and Elon are very awkward people. I think that they can keep their shit cool long enough to do a stream. But boy, the risk factor is huge. Asmongold says a lot of stuff. A lot of it he does not mean. It's just funny, it's content, it's whatever. You give somebody shit, right? What if Elon takes that wrong? Like, no, man.
And I know I myself would be tuning in. And then going down here, I asked a silly question, which was completely pointless. And then he responds with a very good answer, to which I respond with a bit of a joke. And then he goes on to say that he's preparing for the presidential
Bro, calm down. You're willing to extend an olive branch as a gesture of good faith and apologize to the PoE community for any misunderstanding that might have been caused by the whole situation. Oh boy, what would I be apologizing to the PoE community for? And who are their elected representatives?
transition. So let's play for him in the next few days. So there you have it, guys.
And the reason he didn't read that part, and the reason he didn't draw attention to that part, is because it doesn't support what he is trying to do. Now, I'm just going to say this. What he's trying to do is not overtly bad. But at the same time, it's just, these are human beings, okay? Like, they're not cattle to be herded. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Well, you got me there. I retract my previous question. Now back to the important stuff. PoE2 grind. I have to prepare for a presidential transition. So let's play for me for the next few days.
Does Elon pilot his account in RMT and PoE2? Yes, he does. And when asked about it, he admitted it openly. And in my experience with him, personally, he's always admitted to these things. It is his way of engaging and enjoying video games, because he wants to be competitive with those players who do partake in those things as well. Now, that is not me condoning it, although I will say it is not a significant deal to me, as it does not impact the way I enjoy video games. However, if it is an important issue for you, I completely understand, and your opinion is just as valid as mine. But at the end of the day, guys, it's just a video game, and in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that important. But I hope that everyone out there gets some clarity from this video. Again, I am not trying to persuade you one way or the other.
Yeah, it's not that important. That's why we should lie about it and go through this whole thing. That's why it's so little importance that we just do all this monkey song and dance.
And I openly admit that I consider Elon a friend, and I enjoyed playing PoE2 as well as Diablo 4 with him, and I will continue to do so.
Bro, it's a paid sponsorship for Elon. You don't have to keep re-clarifying if he takes this video wrong, let him take it wrong.
So in the future. And I'm going to say again, I'm not going to monetize this video. And if any content creator out there wants to take this video in its entirety and upload it to their channel, you have my full permission to do so. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. I have a ton of work to get to for Diablo 4 for Season 7. But as always, guys, I hope you're having a great day or a great night, depending on wherever you're from. And peace out. I will see you in the next.
No. All I'm going to say is this. Final closing stuff. This did not need to be as big as it was. And I would have respected Elon a lot more if he had just, like, why are we learning about it through these DMs? So, I don't know. This whole thing could have been a lot simpler. It did not need to be like this. And to be honest, the fact that he hasn't really publicly addressed it still, you know? But I'm going to close it right there. This shit's nuts. I don't know how you can be like one of the most powerful men in the entire world and be caught up in something so simple as just saying, just say the truth and you're fine. No one would have given a fuck. Everyone would have saw those videos and just been like, whatever. Like, probably more people would have supported him if he would have just fucking went with it. It's really not that big of a deal. He could have just said his response that he gave him, and I think a lot of people would have been like, oh, okay, well, that explains it. Done. But I think there is, like I said, a miscommunication between like the players' expectations that don't play and the ones who do, understanding that all, apparently, in his opinion, everybody up there on that leaderboard is boosting. So I don't know though. I don't know. I don't think that they are. It doesn't seem like that would be, I mean, it's definitely probably against terms of service, but then again, PoE is owned by a sick fucking cool ass company who just doesn't really give a fuck and just wants to make a good game. So maybe they don't care at all. But the people care. And if enough of them say it's ruining their experience, I mean, I guess we now have proof. I don't know what that does to his accounts. But regardless, I just wanted to make this to kind of end off that shit and give you the full update.